Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is Ameco and you're watching our daily updates live from the studio. I am Gaila Damu. Stay tuned. Director General of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Gerd Müller, said Ethiopia has been becoming a model for African countries and for the whole world in its effort to realizing food self-sufficiency and achieve the goal of zero hunger. The Director General of United Nations Industrial Development Organization made the remark at an award ceremony hosted by FAO to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, in Italy, Rome. The Prime Minister received the award for his vision, leadership and commitment to food security and nutrition, as well as the pursuit of innovative solutions in wheat self-sufficiency in the context of fast-changing and challenging circumstances. On the occasion, Gerd Müller congratulated Ethiopia and its Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for the great success in the sector of food security, as United Nations Industrial Development Organization shares the common goal for zero hunger. The efforts being undertaken in Ethiopia to achieve the vision of zero hunger has really been showing great progress, citing the nation's achievements in doubling the yield in the sector of food and becomes an exporter. He pledged United Nations Industrial Development Organization's continued support to Ethiopia on its efforts to become self-sufficient. Ethiopia shows that it is possible this investment in agriculture and the strong leadership from Abiy Ahmed to reach zero hunger and food security for the people. The African Continental Free Trade Area will provide huge opportunities for expanding and diversifying exports and imports of the continent, UNECA Macroeconomics and Governance Division Director Adam El-Hiraika said. Branu Ismail tells us more.
The African Continental Free Trade Area is the world's largest free trade area, with 55 signatory countries and 8 regional economic communities. African Continental Free Trade Area is aimed at enabling the free flow of goods and services across the continent and boosting the trade position of Africa in the global market. In an exclusive interview with INA, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Macroeconomics and Governance Division Director, El-Hiraika said, "We need to continue to increase exports globally." The director stressed the need to increase not just the value of export, but also the quality of exporters. We should add value to our primary commodities and try to produce as much as the goods we import domestically. So industrialization and value addition efforts should be enhanced, and there is also a need to look at the regional markets in Africa, as there are a lot of opportunities to increase trade regionally. For the director, moving forward, growth and development in Africa will increasingly rely on how we implement the Continental Free Trade Area. As part of its mandate, the African Continental Free Trade Area targets to eliminate trade barriers and boost intra-Africa trade. In particular, it is meant to advance trade in value-added production across all service sectors of the African economy.
We need to continue to increase exports, in particular. Globally, Africa's growth relied continuously over the last 5 years on net exports. So we need to increase not just the volume of exports, but also the quality of exports. We should add value to our primary commodities and increase our and try to produce as much as of the goods we import domestically. So industrialization efforts, value addition efforts should be enhanced. Also, we need to look at the regional markets in Africa.
Regarding the significance of focusing on domestic drivers for Africa's overall growth, the director stressed that the focus in Africa should in particular be more on domestic drivers of growth. Especially, governments need to have expansionary fiscal and monetary policies, even at a time when the continent has to deal with inflation and instability, he underlined.
Actually, growth in Africa moving forward, growth and development will increasingly rely on how we implement the continental free trade area. As I said, the competition globally is increasing, and we need to expand exports and diversify exports and imports. So the Continental Free Trade Agreement will provide huge opportunities for us to do that.
Ongoing mega projects in Ethiopia play a key role in maintaining the country's diplomatic height. Beyond changing its image, Ethiopian ambassadors who have been visiting the various development projects in the nation said. Vivendel Nessa has more on it.
The ambassadors visited the Adwa 00 kilometer project and the Chaka project, which is the brainchild of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. At the Chaka project, they were shown amphitheaters of various sizes, meeting and assembly halls, as well as various centers that host regional events. The project also includes recreational facilities and tourist attractions. The ambassadors told that the mega projects under construction in the country are not only helping to uplift the image of the country, but also play a vital role in promoting the diplomatic stature of the nation. Ethiopia's ambassador to Japan, Dese Dalke, stated that the quality, efficiency and the leadership provided for the construction of the projects in Addis Ababa and the regions are laudable. He added that the projects clearly envision not only the developments of today but also the future generation and are showcases for laying strong foundation. Ethiopia's ambassador to Brazil, Tafatulu, remarked that other countries are using their resources to develop their tourism potential and register remarkable outcomes in the sector. The ambassador noted that Ethiopia can effectively use its natural resources to change the image of the country through the mega projects under construction. Ambassador Tafa added that he and fellow ambassadors will discharge their responsibilities to enable Ethiopia secure more benefits from the sector. Economic Sector Director General at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ababi Demise, said that the projects under construction, including the Chaka project, will further enhance Addis Ababa as a diplomatic center.
According to second-generation Ethiopian diaspora, the multifarious development undertakings being carried out in the country are foundations for poverty elevation and building the image of the country. Modomuluye tells us more.
The second generation of Ethiopian diaspora are visiting the country following Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's invitation back to your origin. Accordingly, the second generation of Ethiopian diaspora celebrated Christmas in Tumkat in Ethiopia with their families. During their stay, members of the diaspora have visited many development projects in various parts of the country. Mulu Nuguthe, who came from Colombia, said that the development works being carried out in Ethiopia are marvelous and indicative of the bright future. The projects that are being carried out or completed in all spheres across the country will elevate the country to the next level and ensure the sustainable benefit of citizens, she observed. She added that the Dine for Sugar, Dine for Nation and Dine for Generation projects in particular foster the country's good image apart from their underlying economic returns. The development activities are transformative and registering tangible results, Mulu stated. Another visitor, Idnekacho Bekkele, who is living in Europe, said he was hearing negative portrayals of Ethiopia, adding his visit has proved the unfounded stories of the country. He added that development projects which are completed with speed and quality and render services are assurances that Ethiopia's prosperity is inevitable in the near future. He mentioned that the multifaceted development works that are being carried out in Ethiopia have opened new avenues and are very admirable. Adunya Ingasu from Brazil said on his part, as our ancestors have passed on to us an independent nation, the present generation must work to defeat poverty. In this regard, Adunya pointed out that works that are currently being carried out in the country are promising, and the collaboration of all of us is needed. Recall that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed called on the second-generation Ethiopian diaspora living in different parts of the world to come to their country in 3 rounds from December to September.
As we proceed to news beyond borders, as the conflict escalates in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis, thousands of Palestinians are evacuating towards Rafah near the Egyptian border, carrying whatever belongings they can. Israeli troops have ordered residents to leave a downtown area that includes Nasser Hospital and 2 smaller medical facilities. Approximately 1.5 million people, or 2/3 of Gaza's population, are now crowded into shelters and tent camps in and around Rafah, where safety remains elusive due to ongoing Israeli strikes. The offensive in Gaza has caused extensive destruction in the northern territory, with Israel claiming to have largely dismantled Hamas. According to the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, around 1.7 million people have been displaced within Gaza, primarily from the heavily affected northern regions. The Health Ministry in Gaza reports over 26,000 casualties, including both fatalities and injuries, since the October 7 attack in southern Israel that triggered the conflict. On Friday, the International Court of Justice issued an order for Israel to take all necessary measures to prevent death, destruction, and acts of genocide in the besieged territory. The military juntas in West African nations, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, jointly announced their immediate withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States on Sunday. The juntas accused the regional economic bloc of imposing inhuman sanctions aimed at reversing recent coups in their respective countries. The joint statement, broadcast on state television in all 3 nations, asserted that the decision to withdraw was made in complete sovereignty, alleging that ECOWAS had deviated from the ideals of its founding fathers in Pan-Africanism after nearly 50 years of existence. The juntas contended that ECOWAS, influenced by foreign powers, had become a threat to its member states and their populations. ECOWAS, established in 1975 to promote economic integration in member states, is considered West Africa's top political and regional authority. The bloc has faced challenges in recent years as it strives to address coup incidents in the region and ensure the equitable distribution of natural resources. The juntas did not provide details on how the withdrawal process would unfold, and neither has ECOWAS for this time being. That's all the news we have for today. I'm Gaila Damu. Thanks for watching and stay tuned with the rest of Ameco programs.
Thank you.